Welcome to another edition of Vigorously with me, Val Hands, keeping it about the music today with the one and only Nor. Please welcome designer, songwriter, MC, producer, and photographer, doer of all the things, Nor in the building. Thank you for being here.
Hey, what's good? What's good? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. That list, when I just read it out loud, it's giving me Tiana Taylor. Like she's very creative and she does everything.
Yes,
So
I
what do you
love
think?
that.
I know. What do you think it truly means to just be a Renaissance creator, somebody that does everything? Because that's what the word I would use.
I think it's being fearless. In one word, I would say is being fearless and not being afraid of your own talent, not caring about what other people tell you should do. Too many times in life, we're taught limits. We're always
Mm.
hearing this phrase, sky's the limit. There is no limit. There's no sky. There is nothing, there's nothing that can stop you. Your imagination goes into other worlds and dimensions. So whatever you can imagine, you can create. So I say, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, be fearless and just live in your greatness. This is why we came here to experience things. This is why we have our senses, so we can feel and taste and touch and be immersed in this experience that we call life.
Period. And I understand that not everybody, has the privilege to enjoy those things or
Hmm.
and really dive into them. You were fortunate enough in one interview I read to have parents that sort of encourage you, as I
Yeah.
understand. Tell me about that.
Yes. Yeah, both of my parents are very musical. They actually sang in the choir together. They went to high school together. They fell in love when they went to college together. Shout out to Concordia College. That used to be Concordia College out there, in Westchester. But yeah, my parents were both singers. My father was in a band. My mom sang and she was in a group and she was also a solo artist. So me being an artist was just kind of in my DNA. You feel me? Like, I guess I just can't escape it. Even my grandmother, like, she played instruments, she was in the choir. Like, I mean, my brother sings. I always make fun of him and tell him he's hitting them Robin Thicke notes. I'm like, yeah, hit the note for me. We call him MC Milk. He'll drink a little bit of milk and he'll just hit these high notes and like,
Coat the throat.
yeah, yeah. I mean, coat the throat, exactly. So yeah, music is just a family thing. It's just in the DNA. So yeah, they always encourage me. Why would they? Why would they not?
That's beautiful. And that early
Yeah.
exposure, that variety in
Hmm.
what influences you. I mean, does that sort of explain why your sound as an artist is so versatile? And was it always your intention to be so versatile as an artist?
Yeah, again, it goes back to being fearless and living without limits because as an artist, people, again, like they do the human experience, they try to put you in a box and tell you what you can't do. But what's the purpose of being an artist if you're not going to be creative? Being
Mm,
creative is the biggest part of being an artist, and everyone has the ability to be creative. It's just some people don't trust their creativity. And I've always trusted my senses. I've always gone with the things that make me feel good. I'm a person that grew up in the era of VH1 pop up video and
yes.
MTV TRL and 106 in Park. I had
Yes.
exposure to all types of music, like my aunt was listening to all types of stuff, and my mom was listening to something else. So I got like multi genres, just mixed in this one pot. And so that's kind of the artist that I am today. Like I pretty much do everything, and I
Yeah.
guess maybe to some people it might be confusing, but I think my fans get it and they're rocking with it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too, like, because
Hmm.
we've seen other artists do the same thing in the sense that they're crossing genres. Post Malone
Hmm.
is doing it. Taylor Swift is
Right.
doing it. That's just a few, and they're doing it
Right.
on a large scale. So I have to ask the question: does sticking with one genre really even matter anymore? I don't know that it does. I think our ears are
No,
changing.
it is changing. I think everything is kind of melded together now because you can hear the influence within everyone's records. You hear a little bit of hip hop, you hear a little bit of pop, you hear a little bit of rock. So you're getting this melting pot, which is the human experience being thrown into music now. And I think that's where we need to exist, in that gray area, because that's where the magic happens.
Mm. I got so nostalgic when you were mentioning like VH1 and pop-up video and things like that too. Like,
They
oh
don't
my
know
gosh.
about that, Val. They don't
They
know
don't know
about
about it now.
that.
That's a 90s kid
Right?
thing. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know. That was if you were a rebellious 90s kid, you were watching that when you weren't supposed to be. I'll put it that
Right?
way.
Late nights, right?
late
Yes.
late nights. But
Late nights.
I love how inspirational it is. And I hear that sound. I hear that 90s era in Girl Like That. I mean, was that
Mm-hmm.
that's one of
Yeah.
the newer singles. We love it. We're here
Yes.
for it. Was that
Yes.
was that intentional? Does the 90s inspire you too?
I mean, the beat made it intentional. Shout out to Don Brady who produced the track. I mean, he's an incredible producer and he can
Legend.
really kind of warp himself into any era. And like he just blacks out on a track and he really immerses himself so deeply and nuanced into these tracks. So once he sent me the beat, I mean, it was only right because we followed that up from my other song called Renegade, which is also like a nostalgic throwback to like a Prince era. And
Mm,
so it was just like we were on this nostalgic road where I'm taking old school vibes, but mixing them with a new vibe. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of merging the worlds and bringing them together, which is kind of me as a person in general. Like I'm a little bit of old school, I'm a little bit of new school.
yeah, I vibe with that. I relate to that because I'm not afraid of either. I think people get caught up in, oh, I don't want to be old, but I also don't want to be too new, but I want to learn or I don't want to learn. They make it a this black and white thing, black and white
Yeah,
thinking. And
right.
I'm like, I don't know that it necessarily has to be that way anymore. I mean, and
Hmm.
Don Brady, from what I understand, is a producer that's willing to try just about anything.
Man,
And
that dude is
shout out to him.
incredible. Shout out to Don Brady. They'll drop some bombs, drop some sound effects on him. You know,
I
yeah, he's
know.
incredible. He's such a blessing in my life. He came into my life at like one of the craziest times when I was going through like a lot of heartache and just like
Mm,
moving around. I just moved back from Georgia to New York, so I was transitioning, and we all knew New York is one of the craziest places that you can live in general. And so,
mhm.
starting a brand new life in New York, and then I get this message from him. I actually saw him through Tommy Danger,
Yeah,
which
I
I
know
saw you
Tommy.
through Tommy Danger. Yeah, that's how I saw you through Tommy Danger. And Tommy Danger is just like he's an inadvertent liaison. I don't even think
Mm,
he knows that he's connecting people by his mere existence. He's such a
yes.
like amazing being. Like I love Tommy Danger. So that's how I connected with Dom because I saw them doing stuff. So I was just showing love because I love what they was doing. And then Dom saw me through that and then hit me up with the KRS space rocket track.
Oh, the
And he's like,
legend. I wanted to.
yes.
Oh, I have so many
Right?
questions about that too. Tell me
Yeah.
about working with KRS-One. Tell me
Well,
about working with.
I've never got a chance to meet him in person. This was something that
Oh,
Dom already had in the works. Dom Brady had already had the vocals and everything.
okay.
So I came in on the project at the tail end. So it basically still needed a chorus and another verse. And so he's like, yo, I got this crazy KRS-One verse with this track. You jump on it. So when I initially heard it, I was kind of like, whoa, what is this? Because it was so different than what
Mm,
I ever make as an artist. So I was kind of just like, a little bit intimidated because I wanted to do it justice. You got a legend on the track, you know what I'm saying? And the beat is just really like crazy production. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed true to who I was, but then I also, matched KRS's ability. You know what I mean? So
the
I think I
energy.
did the energy, you
Yes,
feel me? Right.
it's infectious.
Yes. So it wound up being such a dope track. It's now like headed to like 60,000 streams on Spotify alone. And
Mm,
it's a record that people are constantly requesting when I go to do shows and people just love it. You know what I'm saying? And they just respect the whole KRS thing anyway. So,
yeah.
it's a great record for hip hop. And yeah, I hope to meet him in person and actually do a music video. So I've been trying to reach out to his people and see what we could do. So
Now,
fingers
I hope.
crossed.
I know. I'm gonna put that
You
out there. I'm
know
gonna
what I
put that
mean?
out there too.
Manifest. Yo, KRS-One, you watching this? I'm
Let's
looking for you.
let them know. Let them
Looking
know.
for you.
No,
For
that's
real.
incredible. We're talking about Space Rocket for anybody that doesn't know and anybody that
Hmm.
hasn't heard it before. So go look that up. I've found it on Spotify really easily. I
Yeah.
love the vibe. We definitely love it.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
fan base and your followers continue to grow too. I've been watching. Like, so
Hmm.
What's worked for you? And why do you think you've had some success there?
I say one word: consistency.
Mm,
Consistency. Like, you have to be consistent. You have to feed the beast. Everything is about algorithms, and it's a constant flow of media, a constant flow of information being channeled through this little web, that we all exist in.
yeah,
And you have to constantly be casting your rod into the water if you want to catch some fish. Like, you can't just throw one rod on a Monday and think by Friday that you're going to have all the fish that you wanted to catch. Like,
that's
you're going to
important.
have to, cast multiple rods every day so you could try to fill your plate and fill your stash. And like, it's nonstop. You just have to keep going. And so consistency is something I think a lot of people lack, because, as we all say, life be lifing. If I hear that one more
It is.
time,
I
now,
mean, it
I'm
is.
feeling it
It
do. It
is.
does. But guess what? It can't stop you, because
Yeah.
I've seen some of the biggest, like, look at the weekend, right? Look how
Mm,
big the weekend is. He was sleeping in a van. He was sleeping on a mattress in a studio with no place to live. You
mm,
understand what I'm saying? Like, the sacrifice that it takes sometimes when you have tunnel vision.
mhm.
Sometimes you might not have no place to live. Like, literally, I didn't have a place to live just a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? I was
Really?
trying to figure it out. I was crashing at people's house, crashing on couches, and like trying to work my way into a position where I can get into a space. So now I'm comfortable. I'm in my own space now, thank God. But I went through some things. I struggled. But I put out like 6 singles while I was homeless.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? So
Look,
it's like, I had a place to stay, but I was technically not in my own space. So they call that hidden homeless. You know what I mean? When it's not your
mm,
space and you're kind of crashing. So I understand. I wasn't comfortable. I was in some other people's spaces. I needed to go. And, I just had to keep working through that, that adversity to get where I am now, which is in a great, beautiful space, and I'm able to make my music and get my mind right. But I never stopped working. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that was just one of many challenges that I went through. You know, but it happens to the best of us. But we can't make excuses, because nobody wants to hear that. You feel me? When you're standing up there,
Yeah.
you get your trophy or whatever, that's what you need to be thinking about. What are you going to say in your acceptance speech? Not what are the list of excuses I'm going to make to try to make myself feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
Period.
can't do that. We can't live in that space.
No, not at all. And it's hard though, because we do want things to happen overnight. I was starting to wonder if that was an East Coast thing, because I'm, I'm waiting. I'm wanting it to happen overnight too. Like all of us are in
Right?
a hurry. But
Mm-hmm.
but no,
We
it's just
really are.
I think some of it is, we see the glamour, we see the glitz. We have easier access to it through social media. So we have this perception that it can happen overnight, that
Right.
we don't always see the struggle either. We don't see the behind the scenes struggle. I didn't know what you just told me until you told me just now. If you
You feel me?
I wouldn't
Right?
have
You
believed
don't never know, right? You don't never know what
no.
somebody's going through. And that's why it's like, don't judge people. To people out there who are like trying to force people to conform to how you want somebody to behave. Sometimes
Mm,
people cannot do or perform how you want them to, because they're trying to figure their lives out. Like, I've
yeah.
lost friends because they wanted me to come home to New York and just hit the club. And I'm
Oh,
like, I'm not here on vacation.
I'm
I'm
working.
trying to get established in a new city, which is the like number three most richest, most expensive city in the world. And it's like, I'm not here to party and go clubbing. Like, I have things I have to knock out. And I
Mm,
lost friends behind that, quote unquote friends. I feel like you're not a real friend if you don't understand that I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to get settled and I'm trying to do what I got to do to get
yeah.
my life on track. You know what I'm saying? It's not
They're
easy being an independent artist. I don't have some big machine behind me just cutting me checks all day. I got to work for every single dollar.
right. Those
You
are
know what I
those
mean?
are those people. Those are what I call lifers. They're your ride or dies. Those are the friendships that
Right?
you've had. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
friendships that withstand those changes, and
Yes.
they're adaptable every single time.
Right.
That friend that you can visit a year
Right.
in between visits, and it's like
And it's like
nothing
you
happened.
never
Yeah,
left. Right. I have great friends like that. I'm so blessed to have people like that in my life. So shout out to those people who I don't have to see every day, but when we see each other, it's just like, it's all
yeah,
love. So I
it
appreciate
is.
those type of personalities in my life. I'm thankful for that.
We're so grateful. My perception
Yes.
of the music industry, though, too, is yes, it definitely keeps you busy and how we consume music is ever changing too.
Mhm.
You have proven to be adaptable though in those
Word.
scenarios. Why do you
Yeah.
think it's important to be adaptable today?
I think because it's a matter of survival. You know what I mean? Again, it goes like I will refer to the human experience. You have to adapt to survive, right? Any species that has made it this far in
Mm,
the line of us, evolving in the line of evolution, they had to evolve, right? They had to grow, they had to adapt. Because if you don't, then you die. And that's just the bottom line. Like, you don't adapt, you die, period. And that's just the way it is in the music industry, in any industry. You have to adapt to new technology. You have to be acceptant, to new ways. And, like, of course, do what works for you, but also just be mindful and do the research of the things that you're trying to, in the field that you're trying to be in. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So you're constantly keeping up with what's going on. I'm constantly watching interviews. Like, I study. You know what I'm saying? I
mm,
read books. I'm watching vlogs and interviews with not just music artists, but like tech people, because it's all, hand in hand. Like, what happens in the tech world directly affects what happens to me as a musician. So I
I
have
see
to
what you
keep
mean.
up with those things, you know what I'm saying? And then as a business person. So it's just like you have to pay attention to the little things that are outside your field sometimes, because they do affect what you do.
Yeah. What's the coolest thing that you've learned lately just in your studies?
Man, the coolest thing I learned is about really using Chat GPT as a tool
Mm,
more than
yeah.
what people understand, and about really how to use prompts properly and not just being vague. And it's almost like Chat GPT is the same conversation that you want to have with the universe.
Mm,
So Chat GPT is almost like a digital version of the universe. It helps you manifest. But to manifest in a quicker, more efficient way, you must be specific and detailed on what it is that you want. And the more information that you can feed the Chat GPT, aka the universe, the more it can help you.
mm.
So knowing exactly what your focus and what your vision is and what you want to do, if you can articulate that in a clear way, then you can really expedite your success.
Yeah. I've learned that too. And I'm
Right? Isn't that cool?
it is. Well, I mean, there's a reason why being concise is helpful. There's a reason why being specific is helpful, and it takes
Hmm.
thought and takes intention. It's what I call the buy-in. I mean, when you have that
Mm,
behind you, other people can buy into what you're doing. That's
mhm.
my term for it. And
Yep.
it's important. It's a piece. I was also curious about the moments where you felt like you were at your lowest. Is the motivator survival, or is it the love of being creative?
Man, the moments where I'm at my lowest and I felt like giving up, I think the biggest thing that picks me up is thinking about my family. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Because this is what I do it for. Like, my family, and when I say family, family means friends too, and people that I care about, whether I've known them for a long time or a little time. That's what really keeps me motivated, because I know that I can help them. And whether it be through finances or through emotional or mental support, I know that they need me for that. And so I need to be present to be that, like, that beacon. I need to
mm,
be here to fulfill my purpose, which is to inspire. Because outside of music, my biggest thing is to encourage others to go for their passions. Each time I meet a person, like, we get into a conversation and I'll get visions. Like, I have this foresight, and I'm able to kind of see what a person should be doing with their lives.
mm.
And, like, I get confirmation from spirit and I will share that with them. And, like, 99.9% of the time, I'm spot on. The person will turn to me and be like, "What? I was just thinking that. Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And, like, what you're doing right now and all the things you do, you're living in your purpose. Like, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is perfect for you.
Me?
Like, yes, you are
Ooh,
so lucky that you're one of the people that understood what they should be doing early in life.
I
Because
had
there's,
parents that guided me too. I was
you know what I
lucky.
mean?
They encourage
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, they didn't necessarily say specifically be a broadcaster or be involved in radio or and be a music nerd, but they did tell me, you have a natural talent for speaking well and for public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Think
Yeah.
about doing something that when it comes time to doing what every other American does and getting a job and, go to college or deciding what you want to do when you go to school, which I don't even
Mhm.
know if that is relevant anymore, but that's a whole other conversation. I,
Okay.
I mean,
Was it ever?
it, it is and it isn't. I mean, to be honest,
Right?
like
It depends on the field, really.
it depends.
Yeah. Right.
My degree is broadcast, but I I use more so the digital and media skills that came with it in my day job than
Mm,
I do what I'm doing now, the
right.
physical act of broadcasting.
Right.
It's just
Right.
interesting. You got to be open to all of it. But I appreciate the
Yeah.
spirit telling you that because this is
Yeah. When I first saw you through interviewing with Tommy Danger, I was like, she's so good at this. I was like, she so belongs there. Like I've seen you do this in other lives, like
mm,
just you dealing with people and being a voice for people. And I've seen you like helping people with your voice, not just this type of like interview, but I've seen you like advocate and like help.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying
So
to.
yeah, I see you. I see you, Val. You're doing some good stuff. So stay on your path because you're right where you're supposed to be.
That's good to hear. And you're
Mm-hmm.
right. I want to advocate particularly for our mental health. And I know
Mm,
that's important to you as
mm,
well, because
yes.
I know what it's like when it's just you have a shitty day. And
Right.
sometimes those
Right.
shitty days turn into shitty months and
Mm-hmm.
you can't get out of
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
mentally. It's
Yep.
hard. I mean,
It
I've
is.
I've spent time, getting treatment for depression and anxiety too. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to feel ashamed of those things. I don't want anybody to feel like that's necessarily a roadblock to what it is that they want to do in life. It doesn't mean that there's no future. It took me
Mm-hmm.
going through it to see that. And I would
Right.
love to tell anybody else going through the same thing that it's
Man, that just
possible.
gave me goosebumps when you said that, yo, because I connect with that, yo. I really do. Because I understand that feeling of feeling like, how am I going to get out of this? And you don't see the better days,
That's what it
ahead.
does. Yeah.
Right? Until you
That's the
get to
lie
the
it
better
tells you.
days, and then you feel like, damn, what did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is like great now. You're like beating yourself up forever, feeling bad or like feeling like giving up because you're like, yo, if I would have gave up, I would never got where I'm at right now. I was just saying
Period.
that this morning. Like when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I thank God, I thank the universe, I raise my hands up, and I
Mhm.
just, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for all the things that have happened to me, whether they be good or bad, because they got me where I'm at right now and I'm
Right.
where I'm supposed to be right now. So thank
Yep.
you. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you. Be thankful for all experiences, y'all, because it really does make you who you are?
Any day above ground is a good day. That's what I
Oh
say.
yeah. Oh yeah. Another chance to get it right. That's right.
That's exactly what it
Right.
is. So,
Mm-hmm.
creatively, even specifically musically, whatever you want to share, what's next for you? What can we look forward to coming from
Woo,
you?
I got a song coming out in a couple hours.
Woo! Let's go.
Yo, it's gonna be so fire. It's with Tribe Mafia, produced by Home Run Hits. Home Run Hits is from Montreal, Canada.
Mm,
He's amazing. I mean, this dude can make any genre and do it well. Like young producer, amazing. Like sonically, just so talented, just ridiculous. And Tribe Mafia. Oh, you gotta, I don't know if you've interviewed them before, but you gotta get with them. Like these guys are
would.
working. They got a bunch of placements with like TV shows and movies, and like they're always traveling and like doing big shows. And I mean, these young dudes work. So we came up with this song that we actually were submitting for I don't know if I should say it, but P Valley. And so
Okay.
we're trying to manifest getting a song on P Valley or something like that. So it's a dance song for the clubs, for the ladies to get their little swerve on, get their little twerk on, you know what I mean? For you to break it
Let's
down now. Okay. It's called Ghetto Queen. Okay. Yeah,
go.
so it's gonna be a dope record. It's fun, and it's just kind of like leading out the summer into some more jams. And so we got like two more records coming after that in the following week. So August is gonna be crazy. You're gonna just
Mm,
see me dropping more and more. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just dropping and I'm having fun because it's what I used to do when I was in a group. I was in a duo for years.
you were?
Hence the name Kin for Life. It was called Kin for Life. It was me and another
Okay.
girl. And I mean, we went to the Grammys, all that. We was on Emmy nominated series, all of that. Yeah. So we
Wow.
did a whole lot. We toured and like, I mean, we accomplished a lot as a group. And we basically that's how I have the name Kin for Life now. So, it's a whole long story about that too. I forgot where I was even going with that. But Moral of the story is, oh yeah, I was saying I used to drop a lot of music because remember
Right.
MySpace? Remember
Yeah.
MySpace?
Glitter
You know what I
backgrounds,
mean? Remember
XO bar,
LimeWire?
high angle photos. Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah, so
Burn that mixtape for your crush. Try to give
you
him a little
feel
hint.
me? Exactly. So that's why I'm trying to bring back those vibes. And again, merging the old with the new. And I had the most fun in my career when I didn't overthink stuff and when I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to please anybody and when I was just putting out music just because I wanted to. And
Mm.
that's where I'm at. I'm not putting out music because I'm chasing anything or like trying to like get, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just having fun, period. And so the music I'm dropping, you can see it reflected in those records. And like, is we got some bangers coming. Me and Tribe Mafia and Chanasa Broxton, Home Run Hits, Deshaun Daniels, like we got some joints coming. And then I mean, after that, tour season. So I'm trying to do some shows and get some shows started on my own, actually. So you'll be seeing me in the fall, going into the winter, just kind of setting up my own tours.
Let's hope so, and let's hope it brings you to Minnesota because I'll be there.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
love
okay.
that.
I
Although I
gotta
don't,
see
yeah,
me some
yeah.
Timberwolves,
So yes,
right?
yes. Timberwolves. I'm telling you, A Rod's there
Yes.
sometimes. It's kind of funny. Like
Where and you know
sometimes
I
he's
do
there watching.
photography, so I wanna shoot
Like
you when I come out that. Yeah, because you the model, you the top model out there, I heard. I saw them pictures. I see you, Val. Nah, you got me all
that's
excited.
that's my fun. That's my fun for me.
Yeah.
I love like to me, and I know you agree with this. Fashion is a art form as well. I love
Mm-hmm.
putting together an outfit to put out a vibe, whether it's
Right?
with color palettes or prints. Or I love mixing that. I
Right.
love creating that. I love
Because
styling.
people forget that colors and patterns have their own frequency. They
Mm,
actually have their own sound. We might not be able to audibly hear it, but our spirits hear the sound that comes off of the colors and off the shapes that we experience. You know what I'm saying? It's all just like that golden ratio, and like it's the what the world is made of, which is waves, sound waves, which turn into images. You know what I mean? So when you are putting on clothes, you're putting out a frequency. You're emitting something. You're
yeah,
telling a story. You're giving off a vibe, you know? And then
yeah.
some people don't realize how important that is. And, you know, then they wonder kind of why, you know, they feel the way they feel. Like, I think if you dress a certain way, it can also change how you feel mentally. You
They
know what I'm
can.
saying? You feel
Hmm.
me? Like, if
Hmm.
you dress to feel good, you'll feel better. But if you just kind of don't care, you're kind of just going to be kind of like, you know, sad and, yeah, a little
That's
bit.
how it looks to me too. Like
Right?
I
Some,
can
and I'm not saying
tell.
that's everybody, because some people don't care and they feel great. You know what I
Right.
mean? So not
Yeah.
everybody, but I'm just saying it can, you know, if you're feeling down, then put on something nice and, you know, do a little extra something for yourself. Do your hair, do something cute for yourself. And you
Let's
feel
go.
better, you know?
Yes, I love it. I love the wisdom. I love the advice. I love what's coming next. We're ready for it. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That was fun. I could talk to you all day,
Me too.
yeah.